let's dive straight into one of the first pieces of AI news because I'm really excited to talk about this. It revolves around this particular tweet. Now, I know the tweet itself is largely speculative, but the timing of it feels very deliberate. We've been hearing consistent hints and whispers about ASI, artificial superintelligence, from OpenAI employees, and this adds another layer to that narrative. Here's where it gets even more interesting. I came across something that sheds light on what's happening internally at OpenAI. I meant to bring this up in another video, but ended up forgetting. Better late than never, right? Anyway, the details are fascinating and, honestly, a little overwhelming. I'm not sure how to describe my reaction without sounding overly hyped, but here it is. The innovators are making moves. The only problem? We're still in the dark about how they've reached this point. When we talk about the levels of AGI, it's important to remember that this is essentially the roadmap OpenAI is following to achieve its goals. Understanding where they're headed gives us a clearer picture of the direction the entire AI industry might take. Now, level 4 is what's called the innovators. This refers to AI systems that can assist with invention, which is a game changer. It's fascinating to think about because innovation is such a complex human-driven process. And yet, AI could soon be a major player in it. 2024 is often being called the year of AI agents, and I've heard a lot of buzz from different research labs about what's on the horizon. That said, I do approach this with some skepticism. AI that can aid in invention sounds groundbreaking, but it also feels a bit hard to believe at first glance. However, we've already seen hints of what's possible. Take AlphaFold, for instance. It's an AI that revolutionized protein structure prediction, something that's been critical in scientific discovery. When you break it down, invention could simply be a process of searching for solutions and testing ideas. In that sense, it's not entirely outside the realm of possibility. Interestingly, previous AI systems like the reasoning level ones were built on search-based architectures. If that's the case, then developing AI that aids invention might not be as far-fetched as it seems. Still, it's a pretty wild concept to wrap your head around. The idea of AI helping humanity invent new things, whether it's technology, medicines, or something else, is both exciting and a little mind-blowing. The tweet mentions that this isn't GPT-3, GPT-4, or even GPT-5, but rather an iteration or a new version of an existing model. That got me thinking. It might be something similar to AlphaFold in the sense that it can create or discover new things. Now, the tweet itself is a bit vague, but it's also intriguing. It's tricky to strike that balance between being vague and genuine. That said, this does remind me of something specific Sam Altman mentioned. He hinted at something new coming this year. Something unexpected that people hadn't really considered before. My guess is that it might involve generative models being used to invent or discover entirely new solutions. If I had to make an educated guess, I'd say OpenAI might be working on a model that uses generative AI for research or problem solving. It could be designed to come up with innovative solutions or fresh ideas by leveraging search capabilities. There's already a lot of buzz around similar projects, like Microsoft's latest model and other iterations of tools like AlphaFold. I'll actually cover one of those later in this video. So, it wouldn't be surprising if OpenAI was working on something in this space. That said, I doubt such a model would be made available to the public, but it's still incredibly exciting to think about. Oh, and before I forget, there's something else I wanted to share. I came across a really speculative tweet. It was a bit out there, but still fascinating. Let me tell you more about it. Let me show you something in just a moment. But before that, I want to address the current AI hype. There's some truth to certain statements being made. For example, Noam Brown, who has worked on reasoning at OpenAI, recently pointed out on social media that there's a lot of vague AI hype circulating these days. He mentioned that while there are valid reasons to be optimistic about the progress of AI, there are still plenty of unresolved research challenges. This perspective was well received by many because, right now, it feels like a significant number of OpenAI employees, and not all, but quite a few, are discussing topics like achieving AGI, artificial general intelligence, or even ASI, artificial superintelligence. However, Noam Brown, someone deeply involved in OpenAI's reasoning efforts, brought a refreshing sense of realism to the conversation. He acknowledged the excitement and optimism around AI advancements, but emphasized that the field still faces numerous complex, unsolved problems. It's a reminder that while progress is happening, we also need to stay grounded and aware of the challenges that remain. He mentions that between the announcements of January 1st and March 3rd, along with various podcast discussions, a lot has already been shared. According to him, the 01 series introduces a completely new scaling paradigm. And while we're still in the early stages of scaling in that direction, it's a significant development. He believes the scaling paradigm represented by the 01 series is much more impactful than most people realize. In his opinion, this could lead to superhuman performance in certain areas much faster than expected. This belief comes from observing past systems, particularly those that are neurosymbolic, which have already achieved incredible milestones. Before we dive into more exciting AI developments, let me tell you about something that's truly revolutionizing the world of AI art. Have you heard about Recraft? It's quickly becoming the new leader in image generation. Their V3 model is no joke. It's currently sitting at the top of the Hugging Face text-to-image benchmark. I'm not exaggerating when I say it's outperforming industry giants like Midjourney and OpenAI, boasting an incredible ELO rating of 1,139. Sam Altman recently shared some exciting details about the highly anticipated 3 model. This state-of-the-art model is expected to excel across a wide range of tasks. In fact, one user commented, "I want a model smarter than 01 Pro. I'm willing to pay for it. I use it all the time for coding, and it would be amazing if it could generate tens of thousands of lines of code at once." Right now, 1 Pro can handle about 1,500 lines, but this new model could push those limits. According to Sam, 3 is significantly smarter, and the team's focus has shifted to refining it further. He even hinted at the potential release of an 03 Pro version with a fiery explosion emoji. Definitely an exciting prospect. If 03 does launch around February, it'll be a game changer. Personally, I didn't expect it to come this soon, considering how costly it will likely be to operate. From what I've heard, they're still losing money on the current 01 Pro mode due to high inference costs, so releasing 03 this quickly is surprising. That said, we might not see it immediately in full form. It sounds like an 03 API could also roll out around the same time, so we'll have to wait and see how they approach this launch. Either way, February is shaping up to be a big month for AI enthusiasts. They also talked about GPT-5. I've covered this in another video, but since this is a news update, I'll quickly include what they mentioned. Essentially, they discussed the expected release timeline and performance. While they're still working out the details, they're confident that the results will exceed our expectations. We've just seen an incredible update from the Unitary robot team, and I have to say this one genuinely surprised me. I already knew their robots were highly advanced and capable, but this latest video really took things to another level. It's amazing how just a few upgrades, whether it's software fixes, additional training, or optimizations, can make such a huge difference. What's even more impressive is that they're still working with the same platform they introduced about a year ago. Yet now, they've managed to create a robot that looks astonishingly human-like, even while jogging down a hill. Watching it was almost uncanny. Honestly, if I weren't familiar with this field, I might have thought it was CGI. If I saw that robot walking past me, I'd definitely do a double take, wondering, what just happened? When did robots become so human-like? This clearly shows that the race to develop humanoid robots is accelerating. Unitary seems to be working non-stop, 7 days a week, 24/7, to achieve these incredible advancements. I've never seen a company iterate so quickly, both in terms of hardware and the software that drives it. The way the robot moves now, with such a natural gait, is truly impressive. It's a stark contrast to earlier robots, which often had awkward, clunky movements. Walking may seem like a small achievement, but when robots can walk or even jog so seamlessly, it really starts to feel like we're entering a new era. We may not be living in a cyberpunk world just yet, but this kind of technology makes it clear that the future is closer than we think. What many people might not realize is how challenging it is to program a robot to not only jog up a hill, but also run back down while maintaining balance on uneven terrain. And it's not just the terrain. The environment itself might be completely new to the robot. That level of adaptability is a testament to how robust these machines are becoming. It also highlights the incredible work being done on both the hardware and software sides. Unitary isn't just building impressive robots. They're creating the software that makes these machines perform at such a high level. Honestly, I didn't expect robotics to progress this quickly. But it's clear that with the current level of investment and the merging of AI and robotics, the pace of innovation is only going to accelerate. We're at a pivotal moment where these technologies intersect, and it's pushing the industry toward capabilities we only dreamed about a few years ago. Take the Unitary G1 robot, for example. While it's relatively small, seeing it in action sparks the imagination. It's not hard to envision larger robots with even more advanced abilities running around in the near future. The possibilities are endless, and the future of robotics is shaping up to be incredibly exciting. Let me show you the Engine AI robot now. This one really took the internet by storm. I didn't even mention it in the previous video because I completely forgot, but it's honestly wild. I remember when I first saw it, people were all saying that it must be CGI. And I was like, okay, people are freaking out about this, but honestly, I had a similar reaction when I made a video about another type of AI robot, and everyone thought that one was CGI too. I think we're really at a point where technology is advancing so fast that some things just don't seem real anymore. For those of us in the field, we know that this is 100% realistic. We know how reinforcement learning works and how, by adjusting the robot's behavior through training cycles, this level of realism is achievable. But for the average person who's not following these updates, it's easy to think that this could just be some computer-generated image, right? Honestly, it's not surprising because, yes, it does look incredibly lifelike, but I'm starting to think if people are already thinking it's CGI just from seeing the robot walk like this, imagine when robots can run around a corner, jump, and perform even more human-like movements. What if these robots are fully autonomous and can even interact with their environment using real-time audio? People are going to be in for an even bigger surprise than they are now. Right now, we're just seeing a human-like walking gait, but if people can't believe that, even though it looks pretty real, it's going to blow their minds when fully autonomous robots start doing all sorts of tasks in the real world. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget like and subscribe this channel for more updates. See you in next part.